we recording? Is that recording?
Yeah, they're both recording.
Is that recording?
This is recording.
We are live.
Is anything else recording?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm going to eat my dinner while we do this.
Okay.
So, just letting you know, I'm going to set the microphone down.
You should not. You should just eat with the microphone in your face. My sister would not watch this podcast if we did that. She would
Mouth
not enjoy
eaters.
that.
Yeah, she does not like the sound of chewing.
No, she'll stab you straight in the face.
Did you know I met Kevin through his sister?
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I went to college with Kevin's sister. She was actually my boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was a tour guide, and she was my boss and hired me onto that job. And then we were good friends, and then whenever I moved out to Colorado, she knew I'd started doing CrossFit, and she's like, "Hey, my brother's a coach. You should go meet him. I think you guys would get along pretty well."
Hang out with that Kevin guy.
And we did.
She was right.
And we see the results. You are friends.
Guys, we have a guest with us today.
We have a guest.
Hello.
This is Josh. Josh Caballero.
Caballero.
Did I say that properly?
Yes, you and I being the minorities in the room.
Yeah.
Did say that correctly.
White man.
In this room, I'm the minority. By not being the minority. Yeah, Josh, why don't you tell... Wait, so Caballero. Josh Caballero.
Yes, close enough.
I know. That's cowboy, isn't it?
It means Josh
It's
man.
close. Vaquero is cowboy.
It means man.
And caballero is gentleman.
What's-
Or Spanish knight in the Southwest, my friends.
So
You're a
he's
gentleman?
he's Josh the man.
He's a Spanish knight. I
That's
like that.
me.
Wait, so what is that from? That is Spanish.
It is Spanish. It means gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
You can often see it on the stalls of men's bathrooms at Mexican restaurants. I'm still trying to figure out a way to monetize that, but I don't get anything from
Nothing.
that. What I do get over time is a lot of pictures from my friends who text me and say, "Oh, look, your name is on the bathroom door."
It's your bathroom.
Yes. And if I had a royalty for how many times that happened, I would be very well off.
What
It's
is
happened a lot.
what is caballo? Or
Caballo is horse.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking.
It's close.
Didn't you study Spanish?
Yeah, I took 3 semesters.
Oh, boy.
Oh man, guys! You'll also notice we have a nice new setup with a bunch of trinkets.
Yeah, Kevin was nice enough to get some shelves, and we put some stuff up.
I feel like trinkets are important.
Yeah. We also have some Legos sitting up down here.
They're standing up except for one.
My favorite is the granny with the cookies.
I'm pretty partial to the guy in the wheelchair.
You would be.
Or
Yeah.
Dark Claw. Dark Claw is pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can you just walk us through our lineup here?
So we have Dark Claw, which is the amalgam of Batman and Wolverine.
Okay. Handsome brown cape.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Okay.
And then we have one of my coach's sons brought me this wheelchair guy. It's a Lego because he knows I love Legos. It's pretty sweet. I'm going to try to find some red hair for him.
That is pretty sweet.
Then we have Superman on his way to a business meeting, and you can tell he's on the way to a business meeting because of his briefcase.
Clark Kent has places to be, things to do.
And then we have Santa Claus standing up in his sleigh, which I don't recommend. I think it's very unsafe, with a sack of gifts on the back end. And then we have Mrs. Claus next to him with a tray of cookies.
Oh, that's Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
She's very
with a tray of cookies.
incognito.
She's bringing cookies to all of them. Notice there are 4 guests and 4 cookies.
All right.
I just thought she was a granny. I didn't realize she was Mrs. Claus.
It's Mrs. Claus.
I didn't know that either.
It comes from one of my Christmas sets.
That was the Advent calendar, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or no, yeah, Advent calendar.
Actually, most of these Legos come from Missy.
Yeah.
And she also, I don't know if you can see this. If you're listening, you can't. But if you're on YouTube, she's got very hipster glasses. So a very current version of Mrs. Claus. Very right
hip,
here now.
Very 2018.
With her vegan cookies.
They're not vegan cookies.
With their not vegan cookies.
They actually have extra meat in them.
Extra meat cookies.
Josh, this is our friend Josh. Tell us about yourself, Josh.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Oh, man, from the beginning. Well, I moved to Colorado from Texas. I'm a native Texan, born and raised. I've spent the first 26 years in Texas before I decided I wanted to try something different. And so I moved here, and then I met Kevin, and the rest is history. We've been very happy together ever since.
Ever since.
His
His wife's okay with us being together.
No, so I met Kevin and eventually Nate through a gym that we were working out at. Really, it was around 2012, probably the end of 2012 into 2013.
2013, probably. Around 2013.
It was a couple years after I started CrossFit in 2010. And so came here and we just kind of became friends and got to know a lot of folks through CrossFit and at the gym. I moved here because I wanted a different experience, but I didn't know anybody. So I met a lot of folks through the gym, and it's continued to roll on. I met my wife at the gym that we were at.
Cassandra.
Cassandra.
She's lovely.
She's lovely.
She keeps Josh in line sometimes.
She keeps me in line. She gave me 2 amazing little boys, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So
I have a story about Asher, your 3-year-old.
I want to hear it.
That I don't think I've told this to you. Kevin's heard it.
I'm intrigued.
So Asher walked in. So I work out of Kevin's gym, and so my office, like I call it my room. I don't ever call I don't like having an office. I like just having it's like Nathan's room.
You have a space.
Yeah, where I do work.
We need to put a "Keep Out Nathan's Room" sign on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Asher, Cassandra, like they all came in, and he has a giant T-Rex toy with like a big green T-Rex toy. And I was like, Asher, what do you got there? And he goes, it's a Tyrannosaurus. And I go, oh, really? That's my middle name. Just making stuff up. And he just kind of looks at me like, whoa, and just keeps walking. And I thought about it for a second, like, that would make me Nathan Tyrannosaurus Morris. How awesome does that sound? So later that day, I called my little brother, and I was like, hey, I called dibs on the name Tyrannosaurus as a middle name for like a kid one day. I called dibs right now. And I'm like really serious. And he's like, okay.
He's like, all right, that's fine.
Okay. He's married, and he's like, Elizabeth would never let me do that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to marry somebody who does let me name my kid the middle name Tyrannosaurus Morris.
Can I point something out? I like how that in the middle of that story, since it was a story about a child, you censored yourself and didn't say the word shit.
Yes.
Had it not been about a child, you would have said shit.
I would
But
have.
Instead, you stopped. And
Stopped?
my voice cracked. You stopped.
Yeah,
I was
you
going to
said
try
it.
and gloss over that, but we just, all right, we're
Yeah.
saying it now.
No.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, keep going.
I don't even know where we were at. Oh, so
Oh,
met
Good,
his
because you were
wife,
making fun of me.
That's right.
Cassandra, and now he has 2 awesome kids
Yep, we got married, had a couple babies.
in that order.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's right. And yeah, we now we go to CrossFit Watchtower where Kevin coaches and Nathan hangs out in his space, as we'd call it. So happy to be on the podcast, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Sure.
Yeah, you're our first guest of the reboot.
Listen, I feel honored. As long as it does more views than the first one, I think I'm going
I
to
think we will.
mark this an
Ma-
accomplishment.
mainly because I think Jesse's gonna be really upset with us.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be hard to get more views because right now I think the first one's at 12 on YouTube.
Hey,
right
listen,
now.
we hit 13. Things are going to change around here, okay?
And I'm pretty sure 10 of those were probably just my parents.
Most
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
So we didn't plan on what we were going to ask Josh.
Anything.
We just
about
said we were going to
anything.
have him on.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know I was being interviewed. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, so this is great.
What I have a question because I don't have kids. You
Yep.
do. What is it like having 2 sons?
It's great. I mean, I think you probably hear from most people that either have maybe 2 girls or 2 boys or like a boy and a girl or, some type of mix that they really enjoy it for various reasons. But I think it's amazing having boys.
Is having 2 sons better than having 2 moons?
Yes.
Okay. You thought I
Yes.
was going to say daughters, and I didn't.
And you did not say that.
Are
You could say they're warmer, as the sun would be, sir.
is which is better, 2 sons or Tucson?
Oh, I'd say Tucson's. It's pretty hot in Tucson.
Yeah, I've been there before.
So
It was
it's pretty
really-
smoking hot.
I think I was there last June. Even we got in at like 10 o'clock at night, and I was still just sweating walking out around outside.
Listen,
Is anything worse than Tucson, where dreams go to die?
Talking about Tucson, have you guys ever seen the show Last Man on Earth
Yes.
with Will Forte?
Mm-hmm.
So the premise is he's the last man on Earth. He just like goes around, like the whole first episode, he just goes around to all these places. Like he gets Michael Jordan's jersey. He takes like a T-Rex skull from the Smithsonian. He has the original Declaration of Independence. But what he does is he writes "Alive in Tucson" in all like on all these billboards, and then goes. He's like, I'm gonna die, but I'm just gonna go there. If anybody else is alive, they can find me there. That's my hometown. So every time I hear Tucson, I think of Will Forte.
And that show.
Yeah.
Now, is that Netflix or?
It was on Fox. I think they're all on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all on Hulu. It's a pretty good show. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What are y'all's top like 5 shows right now? Because there's
Top
so
5 shows
much
of all time, or top 5 shows that I'm watching?
No,
currently?
probably right now because there's so much content available on like Netflix, Amazon Prime.
So I was just telling him that I am with 3 different series. I've watched up to like the last 3 episodes and stopped because the last 3 episodes of all 3 of those shows are like the biggest tearjerker episodes ever.
Okay.
So Scrubs,
Scrubs.
but not like up to season 8, not season 9 where it becomes like a med school and is
Scrubs gets
really fucking
emotional?
stupid. Scrubs gets super emotional.
I didn't really watch
Oh,
it, so
yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
Scrubs
Oh,
is great. I love
it's
Scrubs.
amazing. Parks and Rec
I need to see that.
and The Office.
Office is amazing at all times. I think there's also a difference in some shows. I was talking with a friend about this the other day, is that there's some shows that you can watch kind of passively and really enjoy it at any given time. And I think that The Office is one of those.
I think all 3 of those shows are that. I really think that all 3 of those shows you can just watch passively and really enjoy.
Yeah, it's different. It's just kind of a different world because there's other shows like Game of Thrones, or I haven't seen it, but I've heard Westworld is kind of like you have to stay so engaged.
You have to like watch
to be able
at
to
all
follow
times.
multiple
Yeah.
storylines and different angles that come about, and you're trying to like figure it out. But with passive shows, I mean, I feel like it's just so much more enjoyable.
I'm gonna go check on.
Yeah,
those dogs.
my dog just started barking at somebody or something for some reason.
It may have been the air conditioning, but I'm not sure. If we get broken into, send help.
We may be getting robbed as we speak. I don't know. My guard dogs, one's 60 pounds and one's 20 pounds, and they will do absolutely nothing but peel over themselves. So it's really good that they're here to protect us.
They also may lick you to death.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Diamond may pee on you. That's a real. I think it was just the air conditioning kicking on.
No, it's starting to storm outside. There was
Oh.
lightning. I think it
Oh,
might have been
is
some thunder.
Lightning and thunder.
Let's do perfect.
I missed out on the last part.
Lightning and the thunder.
No, we were just saying it's pretty like to categorize the different shows that you can watch and how you can passively kind of watch one show and just watch it, and it's always
Yeah.
funny and enjoyable.
You know what show that I started watching on your recommendation that I really enjoyed was Barry.
Yeah, Barry.
It's on HBO. It's on HBO, and it's about a
It's
ex-military guy, ex-marine, who then becomes a hitman, who then decides that he wants to be an actor.
Okay,
it's
that's quite the storyline.
shoot. What's the guy's name? The guy who plays Stefan on SNL. Bill Hader.
It's Bill Hader.
So it's
It has the guy who played Fonz.
yeah, the Fonz on
Fonz
Happy Days. Okay. He's the acting coach.
What's his name?
I can't. I know who you're
Something
talking about.
Winkler.
I can't remember his name.
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
He's
Yeah.
also the coach on The Waterboy.
Yeah. So a lot of good names, on
Which
there.
is
It's really
classic.
It's actually pretty funny.
By the way,
So are we doing top 5 shows that we're watching at this point in time?
yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Well, you're the guest. Guests first, sir.
Oh man,
You did this to yourself.
Gentlemen.
You know,
Caballero.
that's right. That's me.
Spanish night.
Spanish night, whichever you prefer on whichever day, I'll take that.
Spanish night off camera.
That's right, for different reasons. So I would say it's really hard to get past anything better than Game of Thrones as number 1 right now.
Ooh, I don't.
It's pretty
Hold
hard.
on. I'm a
Like, how can you say that there's a
I'm a-
different,
I'm
better
a
number
nerd.
1 in this moment?
I'm a nerd.
Oh no.
I love Game of Thrones. But to call it the number 1 show right now, I don't know. I don't know if I can make that assertion.
So are you saying it's not number 1 because you feel like there's another show that's significantly better, or what's the reasoning here?
We're talking about personal top 5. And I'm just saying that where I love Game of Thrones, there may be some shows that I would pick to watch before I watch an episode of Game of Thrones.
That's fair.
Can I-
Well, it also depends on the reason why you're doing that too. Is it because you're just looking for a passive show, or because you're looking for like that intense,
No, I'm talking about like shows that I'm intensely into
Okay.
at that point in time. I can think of at least one that I would choose to watch over Game of Thrones. I know there's another one that would just pop in my head and it just popped out. But there's a couple shows that if given an opportunity to watch 3 new episodes of these shows, I would probably watch Game of Thrones like second or third.
Wow, that's a lot. That's different to hear.
I'm
That's
gonna
interesting.
grab a pen and paper real quick because I need to write mine down before I forget.
That's completely fair. And now there's just a ton of platforms where you can watch shows. So
Yeah.
it's like it gets even
Yeah.
more convoluted as far as how many shows you're going to throw into what you can actually spare time for.
So like, I would put my number one show at Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, and they're just coming out. They're just coming out with a new Doctor, and it's the first female Doctor in the history of the show. And the show's been going since the 1960s, longest running sci-fi show of all time.
Wow.
So that by that criteria alone, it beats Game of Thrones.
That's been running since the 60s?
Yeah.
That's the criteria?
Well, it's the longest running sci-fi show of all time. It's actually one of the longest shows running of all time.
So longevity makes it your number one.
Well, I just love the show,
Okay.
but I'm saying
I thought you were saying because it's been around so long, it's like you had to pick it. And I was like, no, pick your favorite thing.
No. I'm saying that if we're looking at like shows that have like staying power, Doctor Who is one of the longest running shows on TV, and also one of the best shows ever.
That's fair. Favorite TV shows are a pretty personal choice.
So are we writing these down?
I think I am. Yeah, and then
I'm going to do, you guys did kind of like your number ones so far. My number one, probably over the past few years, has been Silicon Valley on HBO.
It's a good one.
I've seen that. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it.
That's one of my favorite shows. Like the first few seasons are just absolutely hilarious.
Now, are we having to pick shows that are currently running? Or are we picking shows that we're
I
into
don't know,
this
we
more
kinda
time?
started off, I felt like the question was like, what are the top 5 things you're watching right now?
It evolves.
Then at that point, with that criteria, Game of Thrones may be number 2.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do top 5 of all time or top 5 like within the past 5 years?
I think
the past 5 years.
we're kind of watching right now. If it kind of still has to be on the air.
Yeah, and if you look at it, Game of Thrones has been, I mean, what are we at? 7, 8 seasons? I don't remember exactly what it's at, to be honest.
I
But
think season 7 is the one we're waiting on.
I mean, it's been years. It's been a while. I think for me, just jotting down, Game of Thrones probably number 1. Bosch on Amazon Prime is number 2, which is a great LA crime drama. The Walking Dead is number 3, although I'm starting to waver on that a little bit for different reasons. I feel like they're pushing a little bit too far. And then Sneaky Pete, another Amazon Prime show.
I've heard good
is number
things.
4.
I've heard good things
Sneaky
about Sneaky Pete. I haven't started watching it yet.
I've heard the same thing. I haven't started watching it either, but I've heard it's really good.
I think anytime you watch a show in a weekend and there's 10 episodes and you just completely binge it, you probably like it a little bit. So that's what Cassandra and I did.
All right. Well, here's my top 5. With the criteria of having me still be on the air, we have Doctor Who number 1, forever and always.
Okay.
Game of Thrones coming in at number 2. Rick and Morty coming in at number 3.
Rick and Morty's good.
Sherlock,
Ooh.
the BBC version, coming in at number 4.
Heard
And it's
that's
only
very good.
below Rick and Morty because I get really pissed off of how long they take between fucking seasons. It's like every 4 years you get 5 episodes and you get all excited and then you watch 5 episodes in 30 seconds and it's done and then you're depressed for the next 4 years because Sherlock's not coming back again.
I saw this clip of a show the other day. It's because like the British shows that do that, where this British lady is showing this TV show to her friend, like, oh, this is really funny. She's like, yeah, it's one of the longest running shows in Britain. It's been around for 16 seasons. There's over 30 episodes.
Oh, man. There's over 30 episodes.
Yeah, that's kind of what Sherlock is. And then finally, I'm rounding it out with Walking Dead. I do love the show. I'm not a huge fan. I have not been a huge fan of the last season.
Okay, so you're pretty current then.
Yeah, I'm caught up with Walking Dead, and so I'm not super big fan of the last season.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting to reserve judgment. Walking Dead may get bumped off the list for something else, but right now I'm a huge fan. I'm always a huge fan of anything like zombie or like werewolf or vampire related.
Like Twilight?
It's
Not
pretty good.
Not Twilight.
You just said
Those aren't real vampires. They sparkle in the sun. That's not a vampire. Vampires do not sparkle in the sun. They're not little glitter bastards.
You just said you're a fan of all vampire and werewolves.
Yeah, and I also said Twilight is not vampire and werewolf. It is sexual fan fiction from some hard-up 13-year-old girl.
Listen, man, if you're watching Twilight, you need to move on.
I'm not. I actually haven't seen any of them.
Not you. I'm just saying in general. I think Twilight's a bad choice.
I've never seen any of it. One time in
That's
college,
good.
my friend Nick and I went to a movie theater whenever like the Twilight premiere was out. Like it was just like lines of all these like college and like just college girls just like lined up. And so we just like went out there and got in line. We're like, is this a line for Toy Story? No? And she's like, no, I think it's that one over there. And so we walked over like, hey, is this a line for the new Indiana Jones? Like, no. He had no idea what to do. So we just left.
Oh
You
man.
just took off.
So I actually tried to watch the first Twilight because I do really love.
you
most
tried to
things.
watch it.
I tried, and then the second sun hit, what's his face in the face, and he sparkled. I turned it immediately off. I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this. I love all things vampire and werewolf, and you guys have ruined both of them.
It's just not.
Did you choose to watch it by choice, or were you talked into it?
No, I was watching it by choice.
Hey, you know what? It takes some serious honesty to get to the point where you're saying that you're willingly watching Twilight.
I gave it a
Choice.
shot. I gave it a shot, and it ruined everything. It was horrible.
Well, hang on. Can we talk about The Walking Dead for a second? I don't know. Is The Walking Dead on your?
Yeah, what's your list?
No.
make your list.
No, keep going. Like, keep going. I need to figure out a fifth one.
I
don't
What-
watch a ton
what's
of
your
TV.
what's your fifth one?
I'm trying to think about it. But before I got distracted when we started talking about Walking Dead because my main issue is they have so many table setting episodes where basically nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. And I felt like in the first couple of seasons, you know, they're setting up the show. AMC was really pushing the content. They were making sure, okay, how can we get more viewership? I think zombies as a genre was getting really super popular and garnering a lot of interest. And now it feels like they're just dragging it on and on and on.
I think what they're doing is they're trying to figure out how to end the show where it's not stupid and ridiculous, but follows along with what they've built. Because right now, their only option for ending that show is to kill everyone off. Like everyone has, like, with the way they set it up, with the amount of hordes and all these zombies there, like there is no way the human race wins. The only way to finish The Walking Dead at this point is for everyone to die. And the only way I think they're going to finish The Walking Dead is like Rick is the last one alive, and the last episode, all you're going to hear is Rick talking to himself because he's gone insane.
Rick's the kid, right, with the cowboy hat?
No, Rick's the dad.
Which one's the kid?
Carl.
Coral. Okay.
Coral.
I've seen a few episodes. I've seen enough to where I know what's happening, but I just never got into it. Like I'm really bad about if somebody recommends a TV show to me, like, oh yeah, it's on Netflix, go check it out. If it's an hour-long show, I usually won't watch it. Like if it's like a half-hour show, I just don't.
You have the attention span of a goldfish.
No, usually it's just I don't have like time for whatever. Like I'm distracted by other things.
Like shiny objects.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk about,
Jingling keys.
is this spoiler alert to say something that has been out in the media and very well known at this point?
Go for it.
How long has it been out?
It seems like weeks,
Yeah, I feel like you're good.
maybe a couple of weeks, but it's all over
Maybe
media.
if we're lucky, 13 people will see this episode.
Well,
So.
13 people. Prepare for me to ruin your Walking Dead life. So Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick in the show, apparently is being written out of the show next season. And
Really?
it's just out there now.
I think
apparently
I
they're
heard
just
this,
they're-
actually.
Yeah, they're
Like, I saw
talking
something
about
about
it. They're like, I guess I'm not exactly sure if he just wants to. He's like, hey, I kind of want to move on, but the insinuations seem to be that he was ready to move on with his career and kind of do something else.
I mean,
And
I'm ready
so-
for Rick to die.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the end of pretty much his entire family except for his baby daughter.
Yeah.
But
Good.
it's crazy though because Rick has been such a mainstay in the entire show that to not have Rick, what does the Walking Dead look like?
There's a lot of characters in the show that were never in the comic books or stuck around too long or too short based on what the comic books have done.
Yeah.
My old roommate we used to watch a lot of Walking Dead, and I like walked in a living room as he was watching it once, and there was an episode where there was this dude with dreadlocks, and he had a tiger he was sicking on people.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell happened to this show? Like, I thought they were in like Atlanta.
Things got
in
weird,
the woods. Like, what happened?
Things got weird,
weird.
dude. There's a
There
guy
was-
with a baseball bat that had barbed wire around it. There's
Negan.
Oh, Negan. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
a few episodes of that.
And Lucille, Negan and Lucille.
he was a great villain. Probably one of the best. Like, he was one of the few villains I've ever watched, and like, I don't root for villains ever. Like, I
Sure.
never root for the villain. But part of me at some points in time was like, he's kind of right.
You know,
I didn't agree with the way he handled things sometimes, but his ideas were pretty solid.
no, it's not bad. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why they wrote his character the way that they did, was because they wanted you to have a moral conflict with him. It's that there was rules to be followed. We kind of generally agree. We should probably follow rules and laws and
I
stuff.
don't follow anyone's rules, not even my own.
He plays by his own, ladies and gentlemen. But I think that was the conflict that they had. It was like Negan kind of set up some rules that you should follow, and if you don't, he does things that are horrible. And you guys know it, even though you're laughing.
No, sorry, I don't follow any rules, including my own. And I know one of your rules around here is like clean up after yourself. So I'm just imagining you like throwing stuff on the floor, like, yeah.
From your friendly neighborhood paraplegic. As
Your
you say.
friendly neighborhood paraplegic.
Yes, I think that's my favorite
That's
line.
me.
That's this guy.
There are signs around the gym that say, "Don't do this," from your friendly neighborhood paraplegic.
That's right. That's Kevin Ogard, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like what you were talking about a little bit with where you almost have to like have a moral compass and like you as the viewer have to decide a little bit. I feel like that's been a thing more and more lately with villains in movies. Trying to think.
Where they're not like all bad, like with Thanos. Like Thanos in the comic books, he's just a bad dude. Like he's in love with death. He's trying to kill people to impress death. But in the movie, they make his like love interest or the person that he loves, Gamora, to make him seem more likable, and then make it not like, hey, I'm trying to kill everyone to impress someone. Hey, I'm trying to kill everyone because it's easier on the world.
Doesn't Gamora mean death?
In what language?
I feel like that.
In Thanos language. No, I get what you're talking about. I think Thanos, in a weird way, I think, Nathan, you're right. It's like this weird system of justice that's being set up by these villains in different media that's come out, TV shows,
Because everyone wants to get
whatever
a goddamn medal.
Even-
No one's wrong. Everyone's right. You know what? You're wrong. You're wrong about that. People are wrong.
People are definitely wrong, but I think it's an interesting angle to how they try and create some conflict with the viewer. Like they want you to be thinking about and slightly rooting for Thanos a little bit and slightly rooting for Negan a little bit. And it feels weird because you're like, man, he just bashed that guy's head in with a baseball bat. I don't think I should like him.
When did
But at the
Thanos do
same
that?
time, no, that was Negan.
Oh.
But at the same time, you feel like you should,
Well, and like Thanos' whole view was he's like, like overpopulation was the problem. Like all these
People shouldn't have to live this horribly. Like I'm saving people from themselves.
Yeah,
I'm saving people from
like,
their own
It
kindness.
was a very like
yeah.
on the very like far end of the spectrum, like utilitarian view of like I'm doing this for the greater good of everybody. Was like his there. Like,
Okay, I want to know your top 5, and then you need to figure out your number 5.
I do.
Okay. Not in any particular order. I just have a top 5. Like there's not like a
That's
one.
horseshit.
I mean, Silicon Valley is probably number 1.
Okay.
Because that was the first one that came to mind, so I'll go with that. Not current things, like things currently not on TV, because like I would very easily put like The Office or Parks and Rec in there. But in my top 5 is Silicon Valley, Bob's Burgers,
That's a really good one.
Game of Thrones, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes,
I
that's a great
love
one.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is amazing. I'm really happy that they got picked back up. It was ABC, right?
No, NBC.
NBC.
Yeah.
So happy about that.
Yeah. And then for my number 5, this is kind of a cop-out, I'll admit it, but like I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows, but anytime there's a new stand-up on Netflix, I usually watch it. I've been watching a lot of like just stand-up comedy stuff. So,
I feel like that's directed towards me.
yeah. Sit-down comedy.
What you guys don't know is I know exactly what and when Nathan watches things because he uses my Netflix account. So I'll get on there. I'm like, I didn't watch
know that.
Princess Diaries. Nathan.
Oh, wow. I can see some stats here about how much he's been viewing things. This is getting interesting.
No, but usually what happens, like I'll go on the recently watched, like, oh, Kevin liked this. We have a lot of similar tastes. I'll watch it too.
Or what other thing was happening, we watch a lot of the same shows like repetitively. So I'll start rewatching like The Office or Parks and Rec or like Scrubs or something like that. And
All of a sudden, you're like a season
all of a sudden I'm like a season ahead. I'm like, Nathan, did you have the day off yesterday? Yep.
Usually, I just put it on like in the back, like those shows I put on in the background, so I just like having the background noise. And then yeah, so I have Kevin's Netflix and HBO login, and my friend Matt, who I used to work with, I have his Hulu login. So
He's just a freeloader.
You have this beautiful space. You've got free streaming accounts. What else do you want in life? What else do you want?
What else do you need?
One of these days, so I really feel like one of these days, Netflix or HBO or one of them, because like right now you can like, they know that people are sharing passwords, and like the second they make it to where it's like you can't do this anymore, like we're making it to where like you can't share passwords. I'll gladly pay the $10 a month for Netflix. Like, it's just I have a friend who offered me his password, so I'm gonna use that for right now. So,
I can understand that.
the thing that's funny is people are like, because we just use the one login, like it's not like the multiple logins.
It's all on the same account.
It's all on the same account, so we all just log in on the same one.
But then you get everybody else's like favorite shows and everything.
Yeah, which is really nice because then if I see Nathan watch something, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, like the next day, like, hey, how was that documentary? No, okay, yeah, won't watch it then.
Ooh, a good documentary that just came out is Evil Geniuses.
I saw that, but I haven't watched it.
It's actually really good. It's very intriguing. It's about the bank robbery where the guy blew up on live TV, and like the whole backstory of it. It's incredible. The two people that did it were absolutely geniuses, but also absolutely insane, and it is intriguing the lengths they went to, and then you actually get to like see them talk and listen to them, and they're pretty convinced. I mean, they're insane, and then still you're like, yeah, I'd probably believe her.
Yeah.
How were they insane? Like, I haven't seen it. I know the premise, but
They murdered people. They kidnapped a pizza man and blew him up.
yeah, okay, I'll give you the insane.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
This is
what
terrible.
What else do you need?
Yeah.
The one guy was in love. One of the guy in the show, the evil genius that's the guy in the show, was in love with the girl, but they used to fight all the time, and she was dating someone else. She killed that guy, and so she called the other genius, and he hid the body in the deep freeze in his house until he could figure out what he wanted to do with it. That's how they're insane,
People are crazy, man.
right?
People are crazy. I'm never talking to anyone again.
Except for us.
Yeah.
And the 13 people that watch this.
And the 13. I'm just going to say we're going to get at least
Can we
20.
get 14? I don't like the number 13.
How about
That's
20?
fine.
20 is good.
20 is a good number.
Like,
I'm a
over-
huge fan of the number 4. So any variable of the number 4 would be good.
Okay.
Mine was always 7. Like, growing up,
That's a holy number.
well, 7, 17, or 27.
Those aren't holy numbers.
Those are like growing up. Like when you play sports, you get your jersey and it's got the number on the back. My last name is M, so it was always like, oh, like a 12-person team. So like I was always right in the middle. So my number just always happened to be 7.
Are you saying that in high school you're just in the middle of a group of guys?
Yeah, 14 of them,
Mm.
or 12 of them.
I couldn't resist.
This is a great time to have like a sponsor break in or something like that.
Yeah.
Rogue Fitness, if you're watching this, sponsor
Late
this
Day
podcast.
Sponsored by. Well, me and Nathan, we bought all this stuff.
Yeah, we bought the things and
If you do want to sponsor us.
we're glad to talk to you. You have a couple of your sponsors.
Yeah, I have
up
a couple
here.
of my sponsors up here. We got Bub's Natural. We got Laura's Lean. They give me jerky and beefs. We got Progenics with your shaker cup
Oh,
somewhere.
I put it down here.
Kill Clip has always been real nice to me.
Yeah, and then we got a Muppet.
We got whiskey. Whiskey's always been really good to me.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars stuff.
A lot of
This
Star
one's one of
Wars.
my favorite. This is Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
That's great.
From the Shitters Full scene.
Merry Christmas. Shares full.
Also, this
It's a luchador.
it's a luchador bottle opener.
Oh,
you're like-
look at that.
Yeah.
Little Nacho Libre hanging
And then we have the CrossFit Watchtower shirts on.
Yes.
We have our online store you can buy these at. I guess technically it's sponsored by the gym since it's inside the gym when we record.
Yeah, this
So-
podcast brought to you by CrossFit Watchtower.
This podcast brought to you by CrossFit Watchtower, Kevin Ogar, and Nathan Morris.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect.
You had a third. I see a fifth. Let's close this out with a fifth. What was your fifth? I don't know what
yeah.
that is.
It's another Amazon Prime movie, The Man in High Castle.
I thought it was a TV show.
Or yes, TV show.
Okay, I've seen
Yeah,
a
I
few of those,
misspoke.
and I really liked it. The few episodes that I saw.
It was really good.
Is there sword fight? I feel like with the name The Man in High Castle, there should be sword fighting.
There are some samurai swords, I think. I don't know if
That
that.
didn't answer my question. Is there? Do two swords go cling, cling, cling
You know,
repetitively?
when you talk about shows that have come out way too far in between seasons, that's how long it's been. I can't remember if there's actual sword fighting. That's how.
But they have swords.
Yes, they do.
Do they have cars?
Yes, they do.
How do they have swords and cars? Why not just use guns?
You
What's wrong
gotta
with
you gotta
guys?
watch the show, my friend. There's guns, there's some swords, and
That's the
there's
one-
cars.
That's the one based off of World War II, right?
Yeah, it's
Where-
basically
If World War II, if Germany had won.
if Germany had won, and basically America is split in two. It's Japan has like
Germany didn't win.
Kevin, I'm sorry, but they didn't.
He's the white man on the podcast.
You're the one with the fair hair and blue eyes.
You have that too.
I'm offended.
They're green. Ish. Sometimes brown. Hazel.
I am a ginger, sir. I am a ginger, and we have our own race.
That's right, the ginger race.
You're racist.
But essentially, if Japan kind of had the West, basically from the like where we are in the
Rockies.
Rockies, on West, and then Germany had the East, all the way to the East Coast from here on East, and there's like a neutral zone.
That sounds horrible. The language
It's-
barrier there would just be incredible.
It's pretty bizarre to think about because it's one of those things where you could imagine it being realistic if America didn't win, which we win at everything.
Good thing.
So
Good thing. America.
yeah,
We
that's
won.
right, America, USA.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting show. I think that rounds out my top 5.
Back-to-back World War champions.
Back to back champs.
I like it. We all went through our top 5, right?
Yes, sir.
We did.
The next topic I would like to discuss is microphone stands.
Can we please?
That is the next thing.
Can I have a microphone sits?
Yes.
What do you do with this? I don't know.
Oh, we could do that. We could go like
Just like an old
the middle of the ring. Yeah, middle of like a boxing ring. They hang down from the ceiling. We all talk
And
like
in this corner,
And in the blue corner, Nate Morris.
this would be exhausting. You had to do a whole podcast holding like this.
This would be terrible.
That'd be the worst.
Listen,
And then-
folks,
and they would like start hitting you in the face and.
Why would it be swinging?
It's hanging from the ceiling. Why would it?
We
not be
digress.
swinging?
Earthquake.
we digress so quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the best 37 minutes, I think, of your life. I guarantee you that, at least of your day. At least of your day.
I'm thinking
Truth.
because they have the two kinds of microphones. There's the ones that like sit there, like where you see like a guy playing the guitar. Like they make small ones like that sit on the table.
They sit
Or
there and
they
do
make
nothing.
Ones that are like the arms that adjust.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, I would get those.
that might be the way to go.
I feel like I want the arms that sit there and do nothing. I relate more to those. So can we just do that?
You do sit around, but you do kind of do a lot, though. In fact, you do.
Don't you put that evil on me.
You-
I make it seem like I do a lot, but really it's just other people doing things for me.
You lift a lot of weights.
I bench press a lot. That's true.
Yes, and you get very strong, and you have huge traps.
I'm Polish, man. That's what we do.
Can we talk about what was on your Instagram story feed the other day?
What was it?
What you put on when someone said something about how big you are?
Oh,
Yeah.
Savan. Savan from the CrossFit podcast asked Dr. Amy West if she thought that I was on steroids. And Amy West, thank you, and Matt Bishel, thank you, came to my rescue and said, no, they do not think I'm on steroids. And Savan said, well, it's just he's so big. And I feel like Savan was, just trying to, I don't think Savan thinks I'm on steroids. I think he's trying to clear me from being on steroids because I do get a lot of people who accuse me of using the juice.
Is it when you say that you get people that accuse you? Is that social media or what?
Oh yeah, it hasn't happened in a while, but I used to get like a lot of comments about like taking Tren or like juicing or just different things like that.
I can honestly say there's maybe besides your family and maybe like one or two other people, I've probably helped you clean your car and house and your office more than anybody else. I've seen everything. I've never seen steroids.
Yeah,
I can't afford them.
Yeah, steroids are expensive.
To get you good quality stuff is expensive.
You run a gym and a nonprofit, so basically two nonprofits.
I basically do everything I do for free.
I've known you for long enough to know that you don't need steroids.
No, I'm Polish. Like that's being born with steroids in your blood.
You're really friggin' strong, except for that one time before your accident when I had a higher squat percentage than you. I need to say that. I needed to say
You
it.
did.
Like based off of body weight.
Yeah, based
Yeah.
on body weight. I was very. I let him at the time. I did let him know that I did.
He did.
It
I
was-
mean,
it was
what
nice.
am I gonna say?
Now he can, just bench more than I can squat. It's really not a big deal. But
Josh, I'm gonna put it out there. Even before I got hurt, I could bench more than you could squat.
that's probably true. That's probably very true.
What is your bench right now?
Competition.
Yeah, what's the best you've hit in competition, and what's the best you've hit in the gym?
Best I've hit in competition is 180 kilos.
What's the pound conversion on that?
That's 386.
Okay.
And then best I've hit in the gym is 185, so we're right at 400 pounds for our competition pause.
I still got him on the deadlift, ladies and gentlemen.
But for
By a few
for like a
Like
touch
30
and go,
pounds,
for like a touch and go, like 430 is my best.
Oh, you're saying without the competition pause?
Without
okay.
without a
Yeah,
full 1,000 pause in my chest, I've hit 430.
I still got him with my deadlift, ladies and gents, by 5 pounds.
Now you've got pretty big stuff coming up for you tomorrow. You're leaving for nationals.
I leave for nationals. I cut. I'm actually almost at 30 pounds. Thank you, Tyler Lastly, from Explore Nutrition, has been working with me. I was a 107. I was 236 pounds, and I am now 209 pounds.
So you're under 210 today.
Yeah, under 210 today, and I have to be under 213.8.
Now
And so here's my advice, guys. Here's what really worked for me. I was at 216 2 Fridays ago. And what worked really well was eating a 24-ounce steak and having a few glasses of whiskey, and then magically I was 211.
and just like that, 211
Just like that,
happened.
whiskey and steaks.
For folks who don't know some of the background, you were much heavier, right? I mean, you were in a weight class that where you were.
I was 236 pounds. I was 107 kilo weight class, and now I'm cutting to be in the 197 kilo weight class.
Okay, so that's a significant change. Maybe walk us through like what caused you to just be like, I think I need to get lighter.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Well, the guy who was cutting into 97 is a guy named Jake Schramm, who I think competition best is 210 kilos, so like 450, 460, somewhere in there. Said, I don't want to cut anymore, so I'm going to go up to 90. I'm going to go up to 107s. And for Paralympic bench or powerlifting, you can only send one person per country per weight class. So having him jump up to 107s, my only chance to really make the Paralympics is to cut down to 97s.
Okay.
So I decided to do it. Went for it. I haven't really lost any strength. I'm opening up 5 pounds lighter this meet than I did at Worlds in November after dropping almost 30 pounds. So
I would say, and like
amazing.
naturally, your body probably wants to be more like you were really working to get up to that 230.
yeah, dude,
I
it was.
remember.
I did not like for the first time in my life. I was snoring. I was waking myself up with snoring. I was like eating to the point of hating food. Like I've eaten ice cream twice since I stopped trying to gain weight because I was eating so much ice cream to try to gain weight.
I really want ice cream now.
I don't. That doesn't sound good.
Sounds awesome.
Can't do ice cream anymore.
And so like I actually feel better. Actually, we did a weight vest workout 2 weeks ago when I had cut down to it was at like 211 or 212, and I put my 20-pound vest on, and I was like, this is what I used to weigh. How did I move myself around? This is
How did that
fucking
happen?
miserable.
Yeah.
I remember coming in after you finished that workout, and you're like, I don't know how I did that. Like, how did I do daily things being this much heavier?
I went to you and Megan, and I was like, if I ever tell you guys I'm going back up to 107s, don't let me.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like I wholeheartedly feel so much better doing CrossFit more and weighing less.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a pretty significant cut, and then also to maintain your strength is pretty impressive too.
Well, I got really good programming from the Jesse Burdick and some really great nutritional help from the Tyler Lastly.
That's amazing.
Really great spotting help from
Phil.
One person.
And Megan. And Megan. Megan's a great spotter. She has to stack up blocks, but she's really good at spotting me.
Doug and I got a few in there, and there's like always Jesse and Sam.
Doug and
like
Jesse, Sam.
it takes a village to help a para get.
It
to
really
the world.
does.
Your friendly neighborhood paraplegic.
It really does, because like loading my weights and unloading my weights. You guys think I do any of that? I do a little bit of it.
Today
Helped you
he
out
was
the other day.
he was taking the dogs out today, and he like, hey, I'm gonna take the dogs out. You mind throwing 255 on my bar? And I was like, I'm in the middle, I guess. Like, yeah.
Are you just gonna go straight to 255?
I was like,
Yeah.
you going straight to 255, or
Yeah.
like, do you want me to put on like 135 to do some warm up? And he's like, nah.
Just go 255.
Just straight to 255.
It's a warm up.
Oh,
Just doing it.
So last week, Kevin programmed a workout for the gym. It was 100. Did you program that, or did
That was a Megan.
Megan
I
program
did
that?
not program that. It was
Okay.
Megan.
At the gym, the workout was 100 bench press for time, 135 pounds for the guys, and every time you racked it, you had to run 300 meters. I went out hot because like it's going to go eventually, so I might as well just get in a bunch like right off the bat. So I went 20, 17, 13. So I got to 50 in 3 sets, which is really good for me because I never bench press. Then I did 5 sets of 10 after that to finish.
Did you feel pretty gassed in those last sets?
Yeah, like it was like the violent like twisting. Like my left arm was locking out great. My right arm I was really I did not think I was going to get through the final set of 10. I got 8 in and I was like, I'm not going to make this, but like I might as well try cuz I'm here.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
somehow
if you
I
die,
locked
if you
out
die,
9.
you die. You know.
And so yeah, if he
dies,
dies,
he
he
dies.
dies.
If you can't bench press 135, you deserve it.
Well, I can bench press
You
135.
deserve death.
It was just the 99th and 100th rep that really sucked.
Those last couple of reps, man, they'll get you.
It's always there.
That's right.
That was also he's like, that's the one and only workout I will probably ever win.
And
at
it
this
was a
gym."
running workout,
Yeah.
and he still won.
Did he 3-set it?
Yeah.
No,
I think he 4-set it. I think he went for a 3rd set and missed like the last couple of reps.
Okay. Do you know what his breakdown was? Like what
A
his,
lot of reps at a time. I don't know what the
Did
actual.
he get like
I mean, that's
50 on the
significant.
first?
I
or
think
was
he did like 45 on the first.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It's a lot of reps.
Yeah. It's a third of his body weight. His bench press is like 360. He should be able to do 135 that many times.
So basically, don't be as impressed, is what Kevin is essentially trying to say.
Jesse's-
Jesse, you're gonna watch this, and I am not impressed by your 135.
Yeah.
Those reps are not impressive to me. Do better next time.
Do better. Everything you did, just do it better.
I'm joking, Jesse. You did a really good job. I love you.
Can I
All
talk
the
about,
pleasantries.
can I talk about the really strong thing I did recently?
Yes.
Yesterday, I didn't know we were going to. I ended up.
Fought a dragon.
Yeah. It was really. I was so strong.
And I killed the dragon.
No, I power cleaned and caught it like really high, 275, like no belt in
Well,
just my name.
we are in Colorado, so it's
Yeah.
not a big deal to be that high.
Literally and literally.
I see what you did there.
He's talking about the height at which the barbell was caught, and I'm accusing him of smoking weed.
You
I
were
thought you were
like
talking
talking about
elevation.
smoking weed. I think that's what you meant. I see what you did there. He's funny. You are funny.
Yeah, no, it kind of came out of like I did it out of nowhere. I was like, oh, that felt really like I feel like I could have
So
thrown.
what's your max clean?
right now? It's 302.
302. And
I
you
did that
power
to-
clean 275.
I power clean 275. I feel like I could have power cleaned 285 if I really wanted to yesterday.
Sounds to me like you need to get your squat up. What do you think, Josh?
I think so.
Josh is an accomplished lifter. In case you guys didn't know, he's a very strong human being.
I appreciate that.
And do you think you should get a squat up?
I think you should. Absolutely.
I'm
Do you
work-
think there's ever a point in time where you shouldn't get your squat up?
No, that's the reason why I say that. Squatting helps everything.
I agree.
If you have very limited time to come in the gym, which sometimes I do because I've got 2 little kids and a family, if I've got like 15, 20 minutes to be at the gym, I'm going to be squatting.
When in doubt, squat it out. I've
That's
said
right.
that for years.
When in doubt, squat it out. That's a great saying.
It's funny because like one of my best movement overall in like all of CrossFit stuff is probably the overhead squat.
You do well. You're also like stupid mobile, but you have a beautiful overhead squat.
Yeah, you actually have really good mobility. So you joined the gym that we were at previously. What year did you start?
2013.
Yeah, I moved out here the summer of
it was the year before I got
2013.
hurt. Yeah,
So I
it
remember
was right when the Superman movie came out.
Yeah,
Oh,
because that was
Henry Cavill.
that was a terrible movie, by the way.
You're a terrible movie. It was fine. It was a great movie. You shut your mouth.
Listen, if you want to pay like $13 to see 2 guys crash into buildings all day long,
I do.
and then basically have the ending be, we'll talk about this later. That's another subject. But when Nate joined the gym, I was really intensely like lifting and working out and stuff, and I was taking it.
It's a good movie.
It's really not. It's a terrible movie. And we can talk about
just being
this. We
rude
can
now.
make it a whole separate podcast.
It's gonna have to be continue.
When in doubt, squat it out. But Nate was he was kind of like you were just starting in a lot of, weightlifting and powerlifting,
yeah.
CrossFit.
That was probably June or July when I moved out here in June. It was beginning of June, and I started doing CrossFit the week of the Open in 2013. I didn't know about the Open. Like I walked I was going to a climbing gym when I lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the climbing gym was upstairs, but it was also like a CrossFit gym that happened to have a climbing gym
Okay.
upstairs. So I had to walk all the way through the CrossFit gym to these I got to know the owner really well just while I was there. And
terrible movie.
He always the owner?
No, that's a terrible movie. I don't know what
That he's writing down.
No.
Oh. But yeah, so I got to know the owner. He's like, hey, if you ever want to like do a class, like you're more than welcome to. And so I didn't know I didn't know anything about CrossFit really. And I remember the first workout I did had box jumps. That's the only thing I remember about it. And I was just like dead afterwards. And the owner came, like, how was it? And I was like, can you up my membership? I was like, I loved it. I had so much fun.
Dude, I want to do this more.
But so that would have been February. So I've been doing CrossFit for maybe 4 months at the time when I met you guys.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching you lift, and you're again relatively new to lifting. It's a terrible movie, and we can't talk about that at length. But the but the thing was, you had great mobility, and I remember thinking, I was like, man, he's gonna be a really good lifter if he wants to be. You know, not everyone wants to just continue with weightlifting, but I just had to echo what you were saying. I have no doubt, you know, your overhead squat's great. So
That's my favorite move.
it was gonna be.
I think you just should squat more. Your pants don't fit nearly tight enough.
These are pretty tight.
Have
these
you
shorts.
ripped any pants yet? That's
Yeah.
kind of the golden measure.
Yeah, I've ripped pants.
I've
Yeah,
ripped pants.
I rip pants all the time.
But they're pants for children. It's get to buy man pants and rip them.
I do the majority of my shopping at the Baby Gap, so I tear a lot of pants.
Look, I tore some pants, and you just show the tear on Instagram. Like, look, it's amazing.
So
I was squatting so much.
the other day, Kate, she's a member here at the gym, came in. I was sitting there talking to her, and I was making fun of her socks. And she goes, yeah, I buy kids socks. I'm like, I don't doubt it. She's like, no, these are kids socks. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they are. And then she shows me the bottom where they say like kids on them. I'm like, I don't know if you needed to give me that much proof. I believed that they were kids socks. You're a tiny human. But thanks, I guess.
But thank you. You were
And it
children's.
reminded me of the scene from Billy Madison where he goes, this is Frank's shirt. And he lifts up his shirt and it says Frank's shirt underneath. That's what it reminded me of. Just popped in my head.
Billy Madison, man, it's a classic.
It's a good movie.
Still better than Superman, you know. And there's like a lot of movies you could probably say were better than that Superman. I remember I took this one video.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about the Henry Cavill Superman? Or are we talking about Superman Returns?
Whichever Superman came out, like, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel came out. But are you talking about Superman
I'm talking about
Returns?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel with Henry Cavill,
I don't know who Henry Cavill
where
is.
he fights
He's the
Zod.
guy who plays the new Superman
yeah.
in like
in Man of Steel, right?
yeah, and
Because
the,
I'll agree that Superman Returns, where he fights the pedophile Lex Luthor, is a horrible movie.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was terrible. But Man of Steel
It
was a
was
quality
terrible,
movie.
man. Terrible. Hey, it was terrible. It was so bad.
Yeah, but
Man of Steel was a good movie.
what about Batman versus Superman?
Batman versus Superman was a good movie.
hey, you know what? I didn't watch that crap.
This podcast is over.
It's real. Listen, and I think that you would probably agree with this. The DC comic book movies have not been nearly as good as the Marvel ones. And I don't know. Listen,
I will agree and disagree at the same time.
I'm with Josh, but I
Thank
want
you.
to hear why you think the way you think.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. I think the DC universe is scrutinized more because there is a larger fan base who are a lot more diehard about the facts that are associated with the storylines of DC. And so people get more upset about them. Whereas Marvel just has shit-ass storylines, so no one cares about them. Like, the storylines of Marvel are horrible.
So, with that said, Marvel's better.
Get out.
I think we can agree.
No one can agree.
Get out.
Marvel
Hey,
is horrible.
and let me say
Marvel
this-
characters are stolen from DC 60% of the time. Screw you, Granny.
Knocked over Granny.
Volume is not going to make you win this, sir.
My facts are.
You said Get Out. Speaking of movies, Get Out was
Never saw it.
I haven't seen
it's
that
actually
one.
pretty good.
I heard it was really good. I just haven't seen it.
Listen, it looks
You're
pretty.
racist for not seeing it.
You said you hadn't seen it first.
I'm a
You're
minority.
first racist.
Coming from
I'm
the
a
two
minority.
minorities here.
I'm the minority in this room.
That's not how minority ship works.
The majority of people in here are minorities. So me as the Actually, no. Like I think it's by like 2030 or something. The United States is like white people will not be the majority. It's actually going to be like Mexican and Hispanic.
And like, what time are we?
I want to say it's like 2030.
Your
Oh,
time's,
2030.
your time's coming.
It's
You're gonna be
already
on
here,
top.
my
It's
friends.
almost here. I mean, gingers, we're never going to be on top. There's just not enough of us. Like, we're powerful enough. We'll probably take over anyway.
And you're dying out.
You're like,
We're not. That's not even a true
I
thing.
thought you were dying out.
No, that's fake news.
Tell me how
it's-
you know this.
It's fake
thought
news
you were
because
dying out.
we're a recessive trait. All of us have to be a recessive trait. So both of you guys could carry the recessive trait
I
for
do.
gingers. We hide and we wait for the perfect moment, and then we attack in utero and create gingers.
in utero. That's some aggressive stuff right there. Are you saying it's almost like Gimli in Lord of the Rings? I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, Gimli.
Yeah. It's almost, I don't know why they just said it's like you're a dying
So
race.
we're a recessive gene, so we could hide in anyone. Every single person on the face of the planet at this point in time could have a ginger gene, and it's just waiting to express itself. It's like, boom, bitch, surprise, ginger.
Here's Kevin.
I have a when my beard comes in, it's red.
Yeah.
It's really red.
Can we just talk about this? You have a beard. I have a beard. What is going on?
I've been so okay.
So real. I mean,
Good
it's
question.
Now, so over the past just over a year, I've dropped 30 pounds.
That's true.
Okay.
I got fat. I got fluffy. I don't like to say fat. I got fluffy.
you were fluffy and
I
lovable.
was fluffy, and I had a beard that whole time. And when I look back at pictures, I was like, I was growing this beard because like I knew my neck was getting bigger. I was like, no, the beard didn't hide my fatness. It just made my neck look even bigger. Like it just like it didn't hide. It, like some people are like, oh yeah, you grow a beard because it makes your face look thinner. Like no, you could still tell you're fat underneath your beard.
Well, now you have no excuse. Listen, you lost 30 pounds. Congratulations to you.
But then I
That's a
moved
great
back to
thing.
Colorado. Everybody has a beard here. I'm the minority.
You still have facial hair, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's
You
just
can change
poorly
that.
grown.
It's not poor. No, but like, what I do is just take my beard trimmer and I turn it on.
You
the
are not
lowest
George
setting.
Michaels. Grow a beard or be clean shaven. Those are your two options.
No, I just like I turn it like I turn the beard trimmer all the way down. I just let it go for a couple weeks and then I just.
You
buzz
know
it
how I
again.
feel? 5 o'clock shadow. Be a beard or be nothing.
Are you kind of offended by his lack of commitment either way? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I feel like he's a committophobe to a beard.
If you shaved your beard, would you get a 5 o'clock shadow around like 2 p.m.
Probably sooner, yeah.
or like a noon o'clock
That's
shadow?
that's actually true story. The reason I started growing beards is I got sick of shaving, and then halfway through the day, looking like I'd never shaved. And so the truth about my beard, said here first, is that I have a beard because I'm too fucking lazy to shave every day.
That's why I have a 5 o'clock shadow.
Like I just don't.
That's
I don't
fair.
want to shave every day. I look better with a beard. There is no downside to all this.
But you know what, though? There is no downside to it. There's only upside to it. And
Yeah.
in fact, there's only upside to something that my wife would really like, which is something that the three of us could probably commit to doing.
What's that?
Is a handlebar.
Mustaches.
I think we could go.
If I shave my beard,
Straight-
you cannot
I have
see
a
my
picture.
mustache.
I have a picture of me and you with handlebar mustaches together,
Yes.
holding sledgehammers and tank tops.
Yes, I think that's first.
I don't know where that picture is. I should try to find it somewhere. But we both shaved into handlebar mustaches.
We did.
And then held sledgehammers with aviator sunglasses and tank tops. It was a great picture.
It's Cassandra's probably favorite thing, and I know that she wants me to bring it back. And if the three of us did it together, I think it would make all the sense in the world.
When I grow a beard, like I have a mustache, you can see it. But if I shave the beard and leave the mustache, you can't see it.
but it's going to be grown into part of it, so you could get the handlebar.
no, you only see the bottom part of.
I want that. You know how cool that would look? Do that. Let's do that.
It's two tone.
We should do it for a charity, though. I only shave for charities and for bets. That's the only time I ever shave my beard, period.
Well,
And I'm also trying to grow this out for a full year, so I may have to wait another.
You might have to wait a while to make
6,
it back.
7
Are you
months.
trying to like grow it down? Like
Yeah.
big?
I want to put Viking braids in it.
That'd be sweet.
that'd be pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. I
That'd
think
be
it's
super.
almost long enough for like small ones, but I want like the full-on Viking braid.
Yeah, and then you could maybe try and get on the show Vikings.
I had my hair.
They have a cripple on there.
They do. Have you
yeah,
seen it?
one of the
Yeah.
brothers.
It's a good
Have you
show.
it, like casually, or did you watch all the way through?
I haven't watched all the way through. I'm on season 3.
Okay, it's really good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
To
Megan
a
turned me
certain
on to
point.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Well, barbells for boobs would be a great reason to get to the handlebar.
Barbells for boobs. Railway project. We'll see which charity can raise the most money.
That'd be great.
Shave my beard.
Three of
Handlebar?
us, yeah, the three of us get on some kind of like fundraising page or something. That'd be amazing.
Each of us pick a charity and go for it.
I can't grow a mustache, guys.
You
You're
can.
doing
I see
this.
this right here.
No, like you can see, like it's
Well, then you'll look stupid for charity, and it's a
grow it
good
out,
idea.
Like grow it out, not trim it for like 2 months. Grow it out, not trim it for 2 months. Shave the beard. You can't see the mustache.
I still think you should
don't
do
believe
it.
you.
Look stupid.
I don't know why. It's gotten darker over time. Like it used to be worse. Now you can kind of see it, but like it's still like I can't have just a mustache. I've
It's
tried
the,
so many
Josh,
times.
it is the Irish beard. Like when I was younger, when I was a mere boy,
When I was a beer boy.
A wee lad.
and I grew a beard out, it looked like I had an Amish beard because my mustache was so blonde.
It was so light, huh?
See, I've always been able to see the mustache, but you have to have the beard there for reference.
Well, it's not a ghost. Of course, you can see the mustache.
What's this guy talking about? What's next? Man of Steel was a great movie. I'm sorry, I had to. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know this podcast is in its very early stages.
Look how Josh
Okay.
is taking over.
But I just want to
He's
say,
he's moving away.
I just want to say, if you could just leave in the comments, first of all, rate and subscribe this. It'll pop up in all sorts of searches because these two guys are great and you want to hear more of their content. But also, please leave a comment on YouTube saying how much you hate Man of Steel because then you're just talking sense.
Let's leave it. Let's leave it to the voters. Let's leave it. Like we're gonna do this. We're gonna end this podcast like this. If you watch this podcast, you need to vote on whether or not you enjoyed
Where are they
the
voting?
movie Man of Steel. They can text me. They can call me. They can.
So you have to have Kevin's phone number to vote. Is
Yes.
the rule?
I-
You get comments on YouTube.
Oh,
comments
we have
on iTunes.
we have an Instagram account. We can do the survey on there
We'll put a survey on Instagram.
on our Leg Day podcast. You got to
We're going
follow
down.
Leg Day
Can we also
podcast.
can we also do Marvel versus DC? We'll do Is
Yeah.
Man of Steel an enjoyable movie?
and then we can
and-
do another one.
And another one,
Let that run its course. and then-
Marvel versus DC. Because if I'm doing this podcast for a Marvel universe, I quit.
yeah, we got to put
Here-
some.
This isn't gonna last then.
we got,
Based off of box office revenues, we're not doing this anymore.
we got to get some kind of Instagram voting poll. There's no doubt about it because Marvel's going to crush DC. It's just not a huge
That's
argument.
because people don't know what they're talking about and they're dumb. We've already discussed. People are stupid.
Well, there's a lot of stupid humans, but it's
And I'm right.
The,
DC's better. They have better storylines.
I think the interesting part is that you don't have to have a lot of brain cells to see that DC sucks compared to Marvel.
I think if you don't have brain cells, you think Marvel's better than DC.
Well, our two brain cells will fight. And we will battle to the death against your ginger genes that are apparently recessive and
most
that in
boring
utero just
fight.
come and fight.
Yeah, you want to fight gingers? We burrow into your genes and we pop out later. You'll never win.
This is a visual I never wanted in my life.
You're like a virus.
but I have now.
You just pop up. You're like herpes of people.
Oh my.
You guys heard that here. Gingers, the herpes of people, from Nathan Morris.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably isn't something that you expected to hear
I'm
today.
gonna cut that out and make it a clip and put it on Instagram for
Yes, please do.
shock value.
Shock value. Listen.
I do think this is kind of a good place to end, though. Like we've been going at it for just over an hour. So
yeah, I think it's a good
great.
spot.
Yeah.
We're good here.
Josh, thank you so much for coming on. We know you're moving. That was one we wanted to have you on before you moved.
He's leaving us to
Thank
go
you.
to Tejas
Yeah,
for
we're
some
gonna-
reason. Because apparently he doesn't like beautiful mountains and great weather and awesome people. He'd rather go to the
Humidity.
taint of America.
There's less crappy movies down there in Texas, so I don't have to worry about watching any DC movies, I guess. But no, it's been an incredible ride in Colorado. You guys are awesome, and everyone should listen to this podcast over and over again. But yeah, moving back to Texas on the 20th of this month, June, and I'm gonna miss this place a lot. This community has been incredible. I love CrossFit for the community, of course. I know it sounds trite because you hear that a lot, but in Denver, Colorado, if you're around CrossFit Watchtower, this guy's an incredible coach. It's going to be really difficult to find anybody who cares about his members and really just people in general more than Kevin. Megan's great. She's one of the owners here, and she's a coach. And we're gonna.
She's 4'10". She's tiny.
And she's stronger than I probably will ever be, but by percentage. But so, love you, Megan. But yeah, CrossFit Watchtower has been amazing. So thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to like pitch or like what's next or your Instagram handle? Like
Oh yeah, my Instagram. If you're on YouTube, iTunes, or wherever this is being posted, Josh Cobbs, Josh COBBS is my Instagram. I don't really get on Facebook much anymore. It's just kind of like a distribution for my Instagram, but Instagram is pretty active. So find me on there and friend me.
You can watch his adorable kids
Yeah.
do
Yep.
things. They're pretty funny. You'll be
They're really
entertained. I
funny.
promise.
It's a really, having kids and Instagram, it's a really quick way to like trim the fat of followers because not a lot of people want to watch kids all the time, but you find out who your real friends are.
I mean, half the time it's just you picking on your kids, which I really enjoy. So,
And I think I love that they're going to be able to look back on that someday and see that dad was picking on them. But
I mean, I remember my dad picking on me. It's what dads are supposed to do.
that's
You're
what
you're
they
doing a
are
great
supposed
job.
to do.
You're doing a great
Thank
job.
you, sir. I appreciate that. And Uncle Kevin is also doing a great job whenever they come to the gym.
Whenever they go to, whenever you get the letter home from school that Asher or Micah gave someone a swirly,
Yes.
I did not teach him that. That was not me.
It definitely was. And it's one of the best life lessons, so I appreciate it.
Hey, a head in the toilet will teach you a lot of things.
That's right.
Not wrong.
Whether it's yours or someone else's, it'll teach you 10.
It'll
Teach you
teach you
a ton.
something. Yeah.
So, well, cool. Thanks for coming on for
Thank
us.
you guys for having me. I
Guys, thanks
appreciate
for
it.
watching or listening. So we are on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. There's another one. We're going to get on what is it? I have it written over there. Stitcher.
Thumbnail?
iTunes.
Clips?
There was another one, not Stitcher. I can't remember what it's called. Tune in.
RSS feed?
Tune in.
Edit?
No,
Shoot?
those are the to-dos underneath.
Those are things that you do when you
Meal
Yeah.
prep?
So, starting over.
Activate-
Thank you
activate
for
debit
listening.
card.
We are on YouTube, so go subscribe to us there. It's just Leg Day Podcast. Same thing on iTunes. We're on Instagram as Leg Day Podcast. We don't have a Facebook or Twitter page. I don't really ever use those, so we're just Instagram.
I don't do the face pages or the Twitters so much either.
I have mine, but it's more for work purposes, so I can get on to look at stuff.
Mine just shares from my Instagram account. That's all I ever do.
Yeah. But yeah, you're on Instagram as Kevin Ogar.
That's right.
I'm on Instagram as Nate Behavior.
That's right.
You can find this on Instagram as Leg Day Podcast.
That's also right.
And I think that's a good place to end it.
Goodbye.
Do we shake hands? We shake hands.
I care about you,
I care about you.
and I care about you.
I care about you too.
Thanks for being on, Josh.
Thank you very much. And I care about you.